Hi and welcome to today's demonstration of editing on this image that you see before you. As you can see, I've opened it up into Lightroom and it was from a shoot that I did with Deanna. It's just a plain portrait shoot, nothing too fancy about it, and I'm not going to be editing it in too much of a fancy way, but it's just to let you see how I would typically go about editing this image. Straight out of the camera it's looking quite good. The lighting has been from a single light, a single beauty dish light, which was on the left hand side and slightly above Deanna, so that it just gives that nice light going across her. Straight out of the camera it looks quite good. The only thing that I would probably do is maybe just in this panel over here you can adjust settings. As you can see, there's various settings here. I'm not going to go through them all at the moment, but it's a lot that you can actually do within Lightroom to adjust them. But the only thing that I would probably do here is just maybe just pull the exposure up a little bit, just like that, just to give it a little bit more exposure to the image. That could be something that I could get right in camera, but sometimes you do just have to adjust it when it comes out of the camera. Now the other panel on this side, as you can see, is various presets. Now sometimes I use these to get me to a starting point of where I want the image to be. I have quite a long list of presets down here, and you can see that as I'm panning down across them, you can see what they're doing to the image as I look at them. Some of them, a lot of these image presets I probably wouldn't use, but sometimes they can be a good starting point to get your image to where it is. But we're not going to apply any of those, we'll just start off with the image as it is at the moment. Now the way that I would probably go next with this would be to take this into Portrait Pro. Now the way that you can do this out of Lightroom is you can right click on the image that is in the window down at the bottom here, where you can see where I've got the mouse. So if I right click on that, it'll open this window up, and I will go to Edit and then Portrait Pro 19, which is the new version of Portrait Pro I've got. This is quite new, I've only just started using it, but it's got a lot more features than the previous Portrait Pro 18. So if we click that, and it will say, do I want to edit a copy in Lightroom, in Portrait Pro? And I'll say yes. So what that will do is it will create a virtual copy within here and open this up into Portrait Pro. So you can see that creating the copy there in the bottom, and here we go, it's opening that up into Portrait Pro. Now what Portrait Pro is very good at is it finds the faces within the image, and you can see that it's doing that at the moment. And once it's found the face in the image, it will open up two images, one side by side. Now the left hand image will be the image, as you can see this left hand image here is showing you that it's found a face and it's found the contours of the face. Now sometimes you just need to do little tweaks on it just to make sure that it's picked up the face exactly as you want it. So you can grab these handles and just pull them about a bit, just to make sure that it's sort of picking that up. If I go up to the eyebrows here, you can see that it's picked those up quite well, but just to sort of tweak them into the correct positions. I would normally do this a little bit like this. You can see if you zoom in on this, it's picked up the eyes well and the pupils. It's picked up the lips quite well. You could probably just pull this down just a little bit here, just to pick right up on the edge of the lips here. So that's picked that up pretty well. So I'm zoom back out now. So the left hand image is where you're picking up the shape of the face, the eyes, the nose, the mouth and all that. The right hand image here is where you will see the effects that you're going to put and apply to the image. If you click this button up here, you can see the image as it was before, and how it is after it's been affected by any of the changes that you do on it. Now it's already applied a standard sort of preset to it, but there's a preset in here, and you have got various ones in here that do various things. Say for example, if I go to one of the glamorous ones, it will totally change the shape of the face, which is not always what you want to do. Obviously if you do that, you can see it's totally changed the shape of Deanna's face. It's not really what you want to do, so I usually go for the standard just skin, lips and eyes preset, and that gives me a good starting point to work from. Now once I've done that, I can then go to the controls here, and there are various controls for face sculpting, skin smoothing, skin lighting, makeup, eye, mouth and nose, hair, and picturing layers. Now I'm just going to do a very basic edit on this. So firstly I'd probably open up the skin face sculpture, and what I don't really want to do is change the eyes in any way. If you see that the eyes have been changed slightly, now that's caused by this here, which if I take this down, and the eyes widening, which as you can see as I'm doing that, it's taken down and put the eyes back in the position they were, and less wide. It's also plumped up the lips here, which I don't think we need to do with Deanna, so I'll turn that down as well, and also just adjusted the nose a little bit, so you can see I'm pretty much basically still where I was with Deanna. There is a tab down here which is expressions, which is new in Portrait Pro 19, and what you can do with this, which you can see, you can apply smiles, you can apply frowns, you can surprise, interest, so there are various things you can do there. Basically I'd probably turn these expressions off because I want to keep the expression that Deanna's already got. So that's all I'll probably do within the face sculpting area. Skin smoothing, again, you can turn this right up and it will smooth the skin down quite a fair bit. Obviously you have to be careful with these sliders, because the more you apply to them, the more you can make them almost look like a China doll. Actually Portrait Pro 19 is a lot better than Portrait Pro 18 because it still leaves, if I zoom in here, you can see it still leaves a lot of skin pores and things like that, whereas with the old 18 version it would have smoothed these right down and basically you got a China doll look-alike. But I tend to have this sort of somewhere around 28, something like that, just to do a little bit of skin smoothing. You can adjust various different things in here, if there's certain wrinkles or stuff like that, or spots that you want to get rid of. But you can also, by this button up here, just adjust locally. So if I zoom in on here and say for example there's little spots like this, you can just smooth over those, just get rid of little spots. Maybe just this line here, you can see that we can just smooth that out a bit, just to take the edge off of some of the parts of the face. There's a little spot here and I'll probably smooth away, and you can move around within the image. Just up there's a little spot there, I'll probably just move that away, and a few little spots there. In the whole, really, the Deanna has got pretty good skin. Just smoothing away some little bits and pieces there, maybe just a little bit on the bridge of her nose there that I would smooth away and get away. And as you can see, that's, if I show you before and after there, that's just smooth things away, taking the shine off the face a little bit as well. So it's done a pretty good job there, but still maintaining that it doesn't look like a China doll type of look, and you're still maintaining the look of the pores and things like that. So that's probably just a little bit of skin smoothing that I've done there. And skin lighting, that's quite interesting because you can actually move the light source about. and affect the shadows that you're seeing on the images here by adjusting where the light source was. Now when I actually shot this, probably the light was just in that sort of position there, just up to the side of her. You can also just adjust things like here. You can just put a little bit of edge on the cheekbones there. You can just see that adjusting that image a little bit. Don't tend to use too much of these. Sometimes left shadow, right shadow, you can just put a little bit of shadow on that side of the face, maybe a little bit on the right hand side of the face. But all of these are very much your own personal preferences of how you want the image to look. You can see how that image has improved there quite a fair bit already. So that's just the lighting area there. Now probably the only other one that I would do here, there is a makeup area. I don't tend to apply makeup. You can do subtly and it can make differences by just adding a little bit of eyeshadow and things like that, but mostly the models have made themselves up quite well anyway, and I find that I don't do too much of that within the makeup. Eyes, again, you have to be careful with these. You can make these, as you can see there, I've turned that up to 100%, that looks totally false, but if you just subtly add this, you can see if I take it from right down to normal and just subtly add it, you can just see that it's just picking out the colour in the eyes a little bit more. Just probably just tweak that just a little bit more up there, and you've just got the eyes picked out a little bit better than they were before. So mouth and nose, you can do various things within there, changing the colour of the lips. You can moisten the lips up so they look a little more shiny rather than the dry sort of look maybe they might have sometimes. But I wouldn't do too much in the hair unless I thought I needed to. Hair, you can enhance your hair. This is quite good in the new feature in the hair, because you can just add just a little bit of contrast in it into the hair there, and you can see what that's doing. That's just picking out contrast, and maybe just a little bit of fill light in there just to pick the hair out that little bit more. If you see what I've done there, it's just giving a little bit of edge to the image. So that's all I would do in hair. Picture in layers, basically picture in layers. This is just normal adjustments, so exposure and that sort of thing, which I would tend to do in Lightroom, so I don't tend to use that. And layers, this means that you can actually put the background mask around the image and put her into a different background, things like that. Don't tend to use too much of that because I'm shooting against a white wall, or I'm shooting within a situation that I want to keep that background in anyway, but it is there for you if you want to do that sort of thing. So once you've done your little bit of enhancements here, and you can see how that's just improved that image just a little bit, subtly, but just a little bit. You then go up to this button here, which returns it back from this plugin in Lightroom back into the Lightroom. So you see that's saving the image at the moment and taking it back into Lightroom, and as soon as it takes it back into Lightroom again, it will open up in Lightroom and you will see the new enhanced image. So there we go, that's the image there. Now if we, so it's just loading it back into Lightroom there. So this was the original image, and you can see the other image there. You can do a sort of before and after. So if I compare it to, so that's that image there, and that's if I pick that one, so that's the original image there, and that's the enhanced image. as you can see, it's just subtly changed it, but nothing too much. So go back to the normal view on that. Now you can zoom in on this, and as you can see, it's still picked up the image. And there's possibly little things that I would still maybe do with this a little bit more. Maybe just take the lighting just up a little bit more exposure there. And then maybe just, you can just go on the sharpness a bit, and it's just enhance the sharpness there just a little bit. And if there's a little bit of noise, you could just bring that noise down. But that's pretty much all I would do to an image like this. It's quite a simple edit. Obviously a lot more difficult edits on some of the other images I do, but I just wanted to show you a simple example just to start off with. Hope you've enjoyed this, and look forward to doing more of these little videos for you.